Eagle, proud symbol of our country, keep on flying high up above, and together we will stand and we'll restore the land. Oh, Eagle, keep on flying, Eagle.
Welcome to Listen to the Eagle live in Jackson, Mississippi in the beautiful Reed's Metal Studio at the Farm Bureau building, and we've got Mr. Paul Ott up here along with myself, Landon Moore, and our first segment is going to be on MDOT. We're going to be talking about youth hunting tonight, so any youth that y'all have sitting around, y'all get them to call in, tell us some stories. It's time to be planting food plots. Had dove season open up already, Mr. Paul, and I've just been seeing all kind of stuff all over social media and whatnot, but first we're going to start out with Miss Morgan. How you been tonight? Good.
Really
What's
good.
going on with the highways and the byways?
Oh, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. You know, it's football season.
Yep.
So getting to the game safely is something that we're talking a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
Using our travel resources that we have, our
Sure.
MDOTtraffic.com, so you can see construction, you can see crashes, you can see weather, you can see anything you need to. So you can.
And that's on the app, right?
That is on the app, and you can also call 511 and get that information too.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah.
Paul, do you have that app on your phone?
I certainly do, and I'll tell you, y'all are just doing a great job. MDOT, I don't know what we'd do without them. How about I-55 South? Is it coming along pretty good?
It's coming along good. It's moving real smooth. Still on schedule to be completed next summer. And they're just doing a lot of good work right now, putting in those barrier walls, paving the new lanes on the southbound side.
I have noticed that things have gone really faster than what I expected, because I travel that pretty regular.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect for them to on one Sunday morning we had it in the paper they were fixing to do from like Summit to the state line,
Yeah.
from Summit down, and it was like 2 weeks later they started. And bam, they've been really getting it. We did have I'm sure you knew about that. It was a bad accident down there. Was that last week, Mr. Paul?
I believe it was, but people just not wearing seatbelts, not being careful.
That's exactly right. That's what it amounted to. And basically, from what I saw and read is, it was just closed down to one lane, and somebody went over too far and then came back in and slammed on brakes, and an 18-wheeler couldn't stop, and it ended up being like a 6-car pile up.
Wow.
And it was a couple fatalities just right there in our community. So it was sad. But,
we try to talk about a lot of those safety things like seat belts and distracted driving and drinking and driving and all of those things, and especially when you're in a work zone. Things are a little bit narrower. The traffic pattern might be different from what you're normally used to seeing.
That's right.
And we really try to talk about, keeping our workers safe. This is their job. They come out there every day to be on the road, on the highway, right next to traffic. So you also have to, be extra careful, follow those speed limits. They might be reduced and you might be a little bit slower for a couple of miles.
A few miles, but the safety is so important when it comes to that. I remember, and I've shared this before on the air, but a buddy of mine one time, we were driving somewhere and I was a little aggravated, and I was like, golly, they need to get out of the way. I was just getting frustrated because everything was slowing down so bad, and when I finally had a place to really go, I got on it and went. And he looked at me. He said, Landon, you need to slow down a little bit, man. And I was like, okay. So I slowed down. He's like, well, how would you feel if that was one of your loved ones out there working? And I was driving right past these folks, and I was going way faster than what I should have been. But that's the truth. I mean, that's their work environment, and we take for granted that we're in an air conditioned car ripping and running.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of information on how to drive safely in work zones, and really what a work zone is, what do the signs mean, what should you do if you see a flagger present, all of those things. And those are on our website. It's gomdot.com/drivesmartms, and that'll give you plenty of info for how to navigate a work zone, talking about safety and all that good stuff. We've also got on there some videos, a really great video series that we've done. We call it our Road Smart video series, and it's about learning some of the new implementations that have been put on the highway to make things safer. So like a roundabout
Oh yeah.
A J-turn, rumble strips, cable
if
barriers.
there's anything that can be learned from a roundabout, it'd be me, because those things confuse me like crazy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those. It was in Hammond, Louisiana. It was actually my wife and I, and we pulled up to it, and I was like, "What in the world is this?" I was so confused, and she just laughed at me for not getting out of the country. But those things, they're different and they're new.
They're new. We don't have a lot of them in Mississippi. In the spring, we just finished the one that's in Copiah County on Highway 27. There were a lot of crashes there, and you have to slow down so you can navigate the roundabout and go around it, and it reduces severe crashes and like life-altering crashes by like really high percentages. 87%. Those roundabouts can reduce those crashes, and that's the most important thing. MDOT's all about safety. That's our top priority.
Bringing that number down.
Yeah, bringing that number down. So rumble strips. Those, you kind of glide onto them, and they like wake you up and get you, back right into the lane.
Those things are absolutely awesome. If you are falling asleep and somebody can sleep through that, then they can outsleep me, because that is, they will wait. They jar the whole car,
Yeah.
And, they do with their purpose, Well, Morgan, talk a second about. We've got a little over 2 minutes before we go to break. Talk a second, if you would, about. We're right in the middle of hurricane season. Tell the listeners and viewers about the evacuation and how they can find out. And we talked a couple weeks ago about there's been times where they've turned all 4 lanes into northbound lanes and stuff.
That's called contraflow. Okay. We've got a lot of hurricane resources. Another site, gomdot.com/hurricanes, and on there you can find so much information. And I think one of the most important things we have is our evacuation guide. Yeah. It shows you where your evacuation route is, and learning about that. And we've also got information on preparing, preparing if you're going to be evacuating, what you need to bring, things on how to keep your house safe, all sorts of things. I think the most important thing for people who live in a place where, hurricanes have hit in the past, and it's to know exactly what your evacuation route is and know how you're going to get out. And especially with the, big hurricanes that have come recently, Harvey, we got a little bit of Harvey,
but not just enough some rain to even count, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Irma, and all the talk about evacuations, an evacuation guide and knowing how you can get out.
Well, it seems to be extra worse, I would say, this year than normally, because we've had so many that storms that have popped up, and we've had 2 that have hit. Now they haven't really impacted us that much, but it has our neighbors, Florida and Texas, and so, and there's 3 I think out there in the Atlantic right now, so it can happen in a blink of an eye and turn and be headed our way, and the people need to know what they need to do to get out of there right then, and the main thing is listen to what their people are telling you. Don't try to be a hero and ride it out like a lot of these people do.
Yeah,
and
things are different. It's Camille. People talk about Camille. They talk about all these storms that they had, back in the day, and they're like, we handled this, we'll be fine. But preparing in advance is the most important thing.
Why would you want to do that?
Right.
We thank you for coming on, Miss Morgan. We're about to go to break here. Y'all call in. Any of the youth want to talk about hunting and fishing tonight? We've got a lot going on, a lot to talk about. We'll be right back here in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned. 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you see Spire like we are.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Live Listen to the Eagle up in Jackson, Mississippi at the beautiful Reed's Metal Studio, the beautiful Farm Bureau building. Mr. Paul, you've been doing this show up here a long time, hadn't you?
20 years, and I tell you can't beat Farm Bureau, and I don't have to tell you that, do I?
You don't have to tell me that. I've worked all over the country, and I work for a lot of different people, and they by far the best company I've ever worked for. They take care of not only me as their employee, but they take care of their customers too, and they're good people for sure. We got a lot going on, Mr. Paul. A lot of people planting deer patches. A lot of people, man, the snakes have been out like crazy here lately. I have seen in the last couple weeks, I've had multiple friends send me pictures of rattlesnakes they're killing, and you believe them rattlesnakes are getting further and further south. Years and years ago, I can remember a guy coming in my mom's store in Gillsburg, and he had killed a rattlesnake not far from there. But that was the first rattlesnake I'd heard of, and her store was about, 12 or so miles from the Louisiana line. And now it's every year, them things are getting in closer and closer to Louisiana, and even on into Louisiana south of there. And used to, you only heard of them things way up north, right?
That's exactly right. Well, I want to tell you what you ought to do one night, Landon. Bert won't do it, is bring that snake man in from the game and fish and tell him to leave him snakes at the office.
No, I'm going to have to. No, if he comes, he's going to stay in this little room where Jim's at up in there with him, and I'll just look at him through the glass window. Well, we got a caller, Mr. Trevor Knight. Looks like he's with Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. And Mr. Trevor, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Good. We're glad to have you. What we got going on your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm up here in northeast Mississippi, so we deal mostly with the Tenn-Tom and Pickwick and some of our state lakes and park lakes up here. But basically, we're getting into that fall fishing season, so the temperatures are starting to cool off a little bit, and it seems like the crappie have really started biting, at least on Bay Springs Lake. They were out there this weekend. They were catching quite a few of them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing better than a good mess of a fry white perch. Now, how far Grenada Lake in that area is going to be west of y'all?
Yeah, that's going to be in the our northeast or northwest region. They deal with all the flood control reservoirs.
Okay.
Our area kind of stops in Pontotoc, Benton, and Union County, that far west. So
I've got you.
We have mostly just the northeast corner of the state down to about Columbus area and Knoxville in that area. Okay.
Well, that's good. Well, what is it? The time of year? Is it springtime or is it right now? When do people is best to start stocking their lakes and ponds and things like that?
Well, if you're going to be stocking a new lake or even restocking an old one, this would be the time of year that you'd want to start stocking your forage fish. So by that I mean if you're going to do any brim, so bluegill or red ear sunfish, or if you're going to stock any golden shiners or even some grass carp to control vegetation, this would be a good time of year to do that. Typically, once we get into late September, October, the water temperatures are cooling off, and it just doesn't stress the fish out as much. Now, if you're going to be stocking some game fish like bass, usually you're going to have to do that in late spring because that's when most of the hatcheries will have the right size bass to do that.
Right. Okay. Well, you touched on something there. The grass carp. Go into their importance and what they can do for a lake and a pond for me a little bit, and do they reproduce, and if so, how rapidly, and things like that?
Well, in a smaller body of water, which is what most private landowners would have, they tend to be shallower, so you end up having a greater risk of having an issue with some type of vegetation.
Right.
And the grass carp, they do a pretty good job of controlling most of the submerged species of vegetation, so stuff that grows under the water. They don't really do a good job of things that grow on top of the water or float on top of the water.
So like lily pads, for instance, they wouldn't help a whole lot with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they will eat it if they have nothing else, and if you stock them at a high rate, say about 10 per acre or more. But typically, chemicals would be a better method of controlling those emergent plants, whereas the grass carp are pretty good with submerged stuff growing under the water.
Right. Okay. Okay, we lost him, Mr. Paul. But anyways, what about on y'all's lake there, Mr. Paul? Have y'all ever had trouble with the grass taking over at times?
Well, man, this is a 100-acre lake down here. It used to belong to Game and Fish, but the private landowners have put money in it, and they really control that grass. Now, they don't reproduce, so you got to put them back in there. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I thought that they didn't didn't reproduce or whatever, so you had to add them in every so often.
That's exactly right. I wanted to ask him about the striped bass. You know, striped bass is a pretty popular thing, but I don't know if the Game and Fish has done anything with them or not.
I don't know. You know, a couple of years ago, I went with a good friend of mine. We went to a lake. I'm not going a decent fisherman. I'm definitely not a good one, but he never gives his fishing holes away. But we went to a lake one night. Mr. Paul was in Louisiana, and we went fishing at night for those striped bass.
Yeah.
And I mean, we caught some really, really big fish. I'm talking about 8 and 10 pound fish.
Sure
we were
enough.
catching at night, and you talking about an absolute blast. Those fish get up in there around those pier lights. They have them green pier lights, and those bait fish just pile in there. And the bigger fish will literally, they'll be like a tornado just swimming around, just waiting for one of them bait fish to get out a little bit too far away from that light, and man, they'll swoop in there and get them. And we were taking just little crankbaits and throwing on the other side of that light, and every time you pulled it through there, man, one of them would hit it, and it was just about a guarantee if you threw it in there, you was gonna catch them. And we caught till we were just give out, and we threw a lot of them back, but we had an absolute blast doing that. It's about time to go to break, Mr. Paul. Y'all call in, youth, talk about planting your food plots, talk about deer you got on camera and running cameras and different things. 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you're C-Spire like what we are. We'll be right back.
Paul Ott's The Day of the Lord CD-DVD combo set is our free gift to you and your family. The Day of the Lord includes songs like I Am That I Am, Don't Cry for Me, and They Could Not Stop His Love, as well as special sermons by Tom Lester, Dr. Larry LeBlanc, and others. Paul's special holy visits and the printed Don't Cry for Me poster are also included. Get yours by calling 1-800-684-9486 or by letter to New Day of the Lord Ministries Foundation, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle live in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm your host tonight, Landon Moore. Got Mr. Paul Ott on the line with us, keeping me straight. And I got Mr. Jim in there running all the audio and the lights and the camera and the action and things, and taking our calls. Y'all give us a call at 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you C-Spire customer. We've got Jacob Poole and Jeremy Shaw, Mr. Paul, coming on. They're with Mississippi Delta Waterfowls. Jacob, Jeremy, y'all with us?
Here.
Come back. I didn't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you fine, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, man, we're just sitting here ready to talk to y'all about our upcoming event.
Let's hear it. Y'all got a lot going on down there, don't you?
Man, we do. We've been busy selling sponsorships for our banquet. We're in our 4th year now, and seem to be picking up a little bit every year. We're at a little over 20 sponsors right now for our banquet. It's going to be October 14th down at the Pike County Safe Room there in Fernwood.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to it. We've been really busy trying to get this a bigger and better banquet.
That's right.
And,
well, it started out. I remember. Y'all. This is y'all 2nd year, you said.
4th year.
4th year. Okay. All right. Well, it started out, and it's grown significantly every year since the 1st year, hadn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
We've added to each and every year, and we've added to primarily because of the kids event that we do each year.
Yeah.
That's where we think we're most successful in our area. The first year we did it, we had 80 children. I think last year we had 110 kids, and this year we're looking at having 150 to 200 kids. So
wow.
The money we raise from our banquet, we get a percentage of it back that goes towards our kids event. So the better we do at the banquet, the more stuff we can have at the kids event and make it bigger and better each year.
Right. Well, I mean, when you have things like that, I know all about it with having my youth hunt that I had last year. The more prizes you have for the kids, and the more, guns and different things, even if it's just a hat and a t-shirt, the more things you have, the more it's going to fire them up about it the next year. They're going to tell their buddies about it at Sunday school, and then they're going to go to school and talk about it, and it's just going to keep growing and keep growing. And so the money's not wasted. Every time you pump a little into it on something like that, it goes a long ways, and I know y'all know that. Yeah, and with Delta Waterfowl, now we're the Southwest Mississippi chapter. We cover Pike County, Wilkinson County, Walthall County, Amite County. We go up into Brookhaven some with some of our sponsors. We're the only local chapter around here for Delta Waterfowl, but Delta Waterfowl has a Heritage Fund account that you can use your funds for doing different things. Right. I went to a Heroes Hunt up in Carthage, Mississippi. Yeah, that's right, Carthage, Mississippi, a couple of weeks ago, and it was for police officers, firemen, EMTs, first responders, veteran, military, active and retired. It was a great event. And each chapter does something different with their funds that they raise. But we like the kids event, and we've done really well with it. And October 14th, we've got our fourth banquet coming up. Like Jeremy was saying, we've got 20 plus sponsors right now, and we're looking for some more. We're going to, like we did last year, we're inviting all military and stuff to come have a meal on us, police officers, firemen, get back to our community in that way if we can. I think, not to cut you off, but I want to stop you there for just saying, I think that's wonderful. When Jeremy was telling me about that earlier today, I don't know, Mr. Paul, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I don't know if I've ever heard of that, where, you hear of little businesses, oh, come eat for free today or get half off or something, but not a big event like that. That's awesome that y'all do that, and I think more people need to do that. I mean, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we do. Exactly. Now, we do ask that any of them that are coming, if they could RSVP, let us know ahead of time, just so we can kind of get a head count on meals. Right. That's one of the hardest things that we have to plan each year. Are we going to have 200 people, or we're going to have 300 people we have to feed? So, that's right. How many chickens do we need to have? Yeah. And if you come up short, you have folks that get a little upset with you. Oh, so, that's exactly right. Exactly.
And one thing we're doing this year, we hadn't had at the past. We're having some local talent coming in, gonna play us a little music. We got Jeffrey Nunnery. He's gonna the doors are gonna open at 5:30. Start serving meals then. The banquet's gonna start at 7. Okay. So Jeffrey's gonna be having some entertainment going on while everybody's looking and see what we got and eating. So that's gonna be something we're adding to that, and pretty excited about Jeffrey coming. And yeah, Jeffrey, if those of y'all that don't know him, has been around for a long time. He's just a good old boy from around Southwest Mississippi, Smithdale, Macomb, Liberty area, and been singing for a long time. Y'all give us a call. We're still on youth night, talking about anything in the outdoors. If y'all have any questions, comments, y'all call and tell us about it. If you have any questions about the dates that we're talking about right now, 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you C-Spire like we are. We'll be right back.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle, live in Jackson, Mississippi, in the beautiful Reed's Metal Studio at the beautiful Farm Bureau building. We've still got myself, Landon Moore, and Mr. Paul Ott on the line, along with Mr. Jacob Poole and Mr. Jeremy Shaw with Mississippi Delta Waterfowls. They have the Southwest chapter here in Mississippi. They're telling us all about an event that they have going on. And basically this event, for the listeners out there, if you're just now tuning in, this will be October the 14th. We'll start at 5:30 with live music. The auctions, which they'll have pictures, they'll have calls, they'll have just about anything you can imagine. Guns galore. Go We'll start about 7 o'clock, and y'all tell everybody how the guns work. How do you buy chances at that? Do you buy a book of tickets, or how does all that work?
Well, there's several different ways, Landon. We'll have the exclusive Delta Waterfowl Gun of the Year, and that'll be purchased kind of like it has every year. We'll have 12 calls, and each one of those calls are going to be auctioned off through our live auction, and each person that purchases that is going to get up at the front at the end of the night, and then we're going to just go through a process of elimination, and whoever's the last man standing is going to get that Delta Waterfowl Gun of the Year. But we'll have right at 20 guns, Landon. We're going to give away. That'll be, through a general raffle.
Probably closer to 30.
It'd be, like Jacob said, probably closer to 30 guns. And, we'll have several different ways to win a gun. It'll be several opportunities, from a $10 type raffle up to up on from there. And
Jacob, I hate to cut you off, buddy, but we're about out of time. We appreciate y'all calling in. Y'all support these guys. It was Youth Night here with Landon Moore, Jacob Poole, Jeremy Shaw, Mr. Paul Ott, Josh Carney called in, and Miss Morgan Miller started out with MDOT. And just remember, they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.